What's up, everybody? I'm Neal, your host, the host of Yesterland Toys, the toys that made sense. Welcome this evening. If you're just tuning in for the first time, I appreciate you stopping by and checking us out. Just to give you a little backstory on us, I'm a YouTube channel here that specializes in like retro, modern, love all things vintage, and just discussing pop culture of the 80s, 70s, love some 60s stuff too. And I'm kind of into the modern stuff, as you can tell. I've got some Motu Origin stuff there behind me on the wall and some Masterverse, but I love the good stuff that I have up here, all my vintage stuff. So again, welcome and thanks for tuning in tonight. I'm hoping that this will be a pretty good stream. We're going to be going over the recap of Valafair Day 3. Hopefully everybody caught it. It was an outstanding show. Actually, all 3 days were excellent. Day 1, day 2, the reveals were just, Bobby and everybody, all his hosts, hit it out of the ballpark. And then day 3 was just, what a way to drive it home. So we got to see some beautiful reveals, some cool things that are going to be coming out here later this spring, fall, some exclusives at Joe Fest, some exclusives coming out next year in 2024, new body styles and all that. But so yeah, pretty stoked that we got this event tonight and doing this recap. So I see we have a few people already in the chat room. The Storm, I'll go ahead and bring you up now. Hey, how's it going? How you doing tonight? Thank you for stopping by and checking us out. We'll get ready to go here in a minute. Just waiting to see if we have any more people pop in, and we'll get to it. I've got a pretty good amount of slides to recap and go over, so I'll try not to take too much of everybody's time tonight. We'll see how this goes, and hopefully it's a good stream, and we get to recap and talk about everything that's going to be coming out. What are your faves? What are your dislikes? What are you getting? What are you passing on? All of that good stuff. So hopefully you like what I have to show you tonight, and we'll go from there. So let's see. The Storm. So let me ask you, what did you like? What was your favorite day? What was your favorite reveal? And what are going to be your pickups and your passes on? And we'll give it here a couple more minutes. See if anybody else chimes in, pops on, and we'll get the show going. Again, this is an open discussion. Anybody that wants to hop on with me tonight, they're more than welcome to. I've pinned the link to the stream. I'll put you in the queue. I'll get you set up, and then I'll bring you in, and then we'll go from there. So let's see. What did you say? I want Orko. He looks very cool. Oh, you want my Orko behind me? Sorry, unfortunately, he was not one of the reveals, and he's not up for sale. But you can actually still find these guys. He comes in the 2-pack with the He-Man. What do they call it? The Barbaric He-Man or whatever. Not Barbaric He-Man. The comic book He-Man, where he's in the loincloth and all that with Tila at the cave, and then he goes off and heading for Eternia. He was in that 2-pack, and you can still find him. I see him pop up here and there in Target and whatnot. So, all right. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get the stream going. Here we have it. All right. Valafair Day 3 was with Tony Roberts from Analog Toys. He was the special guest on there, but Ryan was also on there, and they had a little bit of technical difficulties in the beginning, and it wasn't too bad, but they got through it. And that's what happens when you go live. There's always issues with going live when you don't have something pre-recorded. So we had a little bit of a sneak peek that was supposed to come later down in the show, but I thought it was pretty cool that we got to see it early anyways. So it kind of broke the ice. And then from there, the show just took off. The show was unstoppable. It was great content. And we got, delivered and unloaded with so much cool stuff that's going to be coming out. So here it is. Here's our first reveal of day 3, which was the accidental release there that Tony corrected, but we got to see the video. This is the Stan Solo Action Force Joe Fest exclusive 3 3/4 inch retro desert rat. And I actually kind of think that he kind of looks like Tony in the face. And Ratface44 Reviews is in the house. What's up, man? How you doing? Thanks for stopping by and tuning in tonight. We just got started here just a few minutes ago, and we're just kind of going through these. Hopefully I got these all in order of how they came out. I worked on this a little bit this morning, but we're going over Stan Solo's Action Force Desert Rat 3 3/4 inch retro exclusive. And yeah, so this is gonna be that exclusive at Joe Fest. So I can't remember how many. I think they said, was it 1,000? It was gonna be 1,000 exclusives or something like that. I might be getting these mixed up, but moving forward with that, he's gonna come on an original Action Force card. So yeah, this is gonna be cool. And Tony said he's gonna, he was gonna sign them. I'm sure he'll sign in his ink. If you purchase or you're lucky enough to get one, he'll sign it. But apparently on this insignia here, it might already say Desert Rat. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe he'll be signing them. It's gonna be a lot of signing for him. So looks like I've got my brother in the chat. What's going on, my bro? Yeah, I guess kind of looks like Richard Nixon a little bit. But I think he's supposed to be kind of modeled after Tony Roberts from Analog Toys, the real Desert Rat now. So Ratface44 Review says, yep, cool. Thank you, sir. So I'm pretty stoked to get this. I can't wait to get this just because, I like Tony's backstory. I love Analog Toys' channel. And when we got him as a 6-inch figure here, late last year? I mean, it was awesome to finally get that in. Or actually, no, I'm sorry, like midsummer, I think is when he came out. It was awesome to get him. So really, really, really stoked that that this is coming out, and it's a Stan Solo. And if anybody doesn't know Stan Solo, I'll make sure I put this in the comments or I'll put it in the description. Stan Solo, he's a small type mom and pop 3 3/4 inch retro maker and figure designer, and he's out of the UK. He's killing it with these classic, Star Wars characters. He's done some one-offs in the Star Wars universe. So if you haven't checked him out, go up there now. Go to Stan Solo. He's on Etsy. You can find him there. I believe he has a partner here somewhere in the United States, and they sell on eBay. But be patient with him, be calm, be courteous, and just go up and make sure you read all those questions that have been asked. There's usually a ton of answers to them because the poor gentleman gets bombarded by it. And he's a great businessman. He's a great toy designer that's just basically given us what we wanted or what we want now that we had back when we were kids. So, you can't go wrong with someone putting out, and he's knocking the stuff out of the park. So again, he's coming in with an exclusive, this Desert Rat from Action Force. It's going to be on that card. And man, this is going to be one to get for sure. The Storm says, how much does Desert Rat go for? Well, the Storm, depending on which one you're talking about. Are you talking about the one that's currently with Action Force right now that's out? in the line, the one that's really modeled after Tony Roberts from Analog Toys, or are you talking about this one coming down the line? If you're talking about this one coming down the line, the carded 3 3/4, I don't believe we have a price yet. I don't think Bobby's revealed that. And if I had to put a price on it or a price tag on it, I'm going to probably put this somewhere in the, I'm going to say somewhere between the $35 range and maybe 45, maybe even a little bit higher, maybe up in the 50s. I don't know. So we'll have to wait and kind of see. And it's going to be an exclusive, so it might fetch a bigger price tag. Drew G, what's up, man? I was thinking about you all day today when I was putting this together. I just wanted to touch base on what you had done the other day when we did day 2, day 1 and day 2 recap. And yeah, so I wanted to make sure we got in a 3 somewhere there in day 3 recap here during the week. I didn't really want to wait towards the weekend. So, yeah, man, appreciate you tuning in. Hey, make sure you're driving safely, get home safely. And if you don't have too much to do and the stream's still going, you want to hop on, you're more than welcome, my friend. So we're just kind of getting going here. So yeah, here's the card. This is what we're getting with the exclusive Stan Solo Deseret at Joe Fest. So let me know your thoughts. Is everybody getting this? Is anybody passing on it? I know for one, if I can't make it to Joe Fest, I'm going to do my best to try and score one of these because I really, really, really want this for my collection. I'm trying. I would love to get to Joe Fest. It's still kind of up in the air. I'm still kind of on the fence. I've got some other things that are going on in my life right now, and I just don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. But I'm doing everything in my power to try and get back there because I want to see all the reveals, and I want to meet all the fans, and I want to be with like-minded people with this line. So, yeah. Let's see here. Moving on. So here's a picture of him in the studio. I know it's probably not the greatest picture, but he doesn't look like the vintage Palatoy Desert Rat where he came in shorts and boots. You can see the edge of his socks, and he had like his I forgot what they call those, like the not a shawl, but sound bad here, but whatever that, it's for keeping you cool in the desert and keeping the sunlight off of you and burning. It doesn't have this. This is kind of more geared around Tony, but in 3 3/4, and it's pretty cool. So this is a must for the collection if I can get it. And the Storm says, don't collect toys, but I like your toy reviews. Well, thanks, man. What do you collect? Let me know what you collect, or do you collect? But appreciate you liking my channel. I appreciate you liking my videos, and that means a lot. All right, moving on. I guess I did get one of these kind of out of line. So this should say here, figure bodies for 2024. And this one here is, we saw from day 2. This is I can't pronounce his name. Let me see if I can pull it up here real quick and find it. This is the body, though. We're getting the body. We saw the head reveal on day 2, and ultimately this is the body that we're getting for him. So this is pretty cool. And there was a lot of speculation. I know on Drew's channel, we were, speculating like, what's his backstory? What's he going to be? I had mentioned that he was going to be kind of similar to maybe Footloose and from the Classifieds line, but I definitely don't see that happening now. That comment is actually probably I've already deleted that from my thought process. So Yeah, he's gonna be a cool figure. So we're gonna need to definitely get him. Anybody that's an Action Force fan, he's his backstory. I believe he's from Japan, and yeah, this is gonna be really really cool. So wanting to get my hands on one. All right, moving forward, and then we have I believe this is Sidewinder, or is that was I believe that's what they said, and he's out of Mexico. His backstory, and we got his body reveal. Now we have been told these are all new body reveals for 2024 coming up next year. So he's changing it up, as you can tell. We can see down here on the boots. We got a new boot design. The pants go down a little bit lower here, and we have this new shirt, military shirt, if you will, but it's going to all have the same similar articulation. The heads are going to be interchangeable. You can swap them from your characters. Nothing's really changing there. Everything should be able to. So there's going to be major kit bashing going on. So yeah, very, very cool. And then we got so far with the new body reveal, and we got a sneak peek to this a while back. We got that, that strong back, the muscles, and everybody was speculating, hey, who's that going to be? Who's that going to be? Well, again, over on Drew's channel on Sunday, before day 3 started, we were discussing it, and Drew thought maybe it was going to go on Sidewinder, and I was like, no, I'm thinking maybe it's going to go on Atlas, but I can see it going on him. I can see it going on both. I was, everybody, we were just trying to compare, the skin tones possibly and all that. But my gut was telling me it was going to go on Atlas. And I'm glad I stuck with my gut on it, because I also said, I believe this guy is going to be the sleeper in the new, figures for 2024 coming out. And the reason I said that was I just had this weird feeling about him, this mystique about him, that this guy, he's either going to be like a wilderness survival kind of guy. He's going to be an Arctic guy. I said, he's just going to be the kind of guy that's going to get business done. I'm hoping that's where the storyline goes, somewhere with that backstory. And then when they revealed and I'll reveal the next slide, they're side by side. Now we get to see the comparisons and the girth in Atlas compared to the other guys. So he's going to be a bigger figure. So this is a figure that's been molded, that's going to be larger than what we have right now. So for him to fit in the line, he's going to stick out, right? So when I saw him, and then we saw all the weapon reveals, like with the minigun, I said originally Trigger. I can also see it in Atlas's hand, him just, going to town. And I don't think we need a screaming head for Atlas per se, because I don't know. I just get this feeling that he's this calm, cool, collective kind of guy that gets business done. So I could just see him going in there, holding that minigun and doing what he needs to do to get business. But I'm totally stoked that we're getting him. And Drew says, yes, Bobby tricked us. He did, man. He really threw a he threw a wrench into our tire spokes, man, and kind of messed up all our thought process and how we were going. But I'm glad we got to discuss it. I think it was cool to just imagine and speculate what we were getting. So I'm really stoked that, first and foremost, I'm glad we're getting this new body style for these figs, but I'm really stoked on this Atlas guy. Really stoked. Can't wait to get him. So Andrew says again, he needs a gritting head so you can have him with the BMG. Heck yeah, that would be good. He could just sit there, not necessarily screaming, but he's just, he's in there doing business. So really excited. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? I mean, is everybody on, are we all on the same page? Is everybody on par with, we love where the new body sculpt and design is going? And are you satisfied with these characters? Are you glad to hear about these characters? Were you expecting something else? For myself, I'm stoked on it. I know I'm drawing a blank, and I was hoping they might already have it up on Action Force, maybe up on his Facebook page. Let's see here. Give me a second. I apologize for pausing. Let me take a look. I was hoping, I know I've seen him post a little bit, and let's see if I can get it to open here. The Storm, I think the tallest model would be the best. He's definitely, I don't know if he'll be the best, but he's definitely, I think, in my opinion, I think he's going to be highly, highly sought after. Highly, highly sought after. Let's see here. Bear with me. And guys, I've got a lot to go through, so I apologize for, if I, pause for a second, I'm not talking, just bear with me. I know Bobby said he's trying to get all the photos up, and he'll get them up. So no, he doesn't have it. And I don't want to open up another screen and overpull the audio or anything like that. Anyways, moving on. And then we get this guy, Colonel Siege. I'm stoked here. And if anybody watched Drew's channel, and I was on it with him in M Vargo 97, I made a statement that I like revolvers. I've always been a revolver guy. And to see this now come out, we got double holsters for those revolvers that we saw in the weapons packs. And I'm sure he's probably he's going to come with those revolvers. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about this. We go back here. We have Willem Toys and Hobbies. Hey, Willem, thanks for stopping by, man. Appreciate you stopping by tonight and checking us out. And Drew says hello to Willem as well. And yeah, what's everybody's thoughts on this, man? I'm stoked. And I know I've seen a couple people comment on this on other that have taken screenshots and posted it on Instagram and stuff. And they're saying it kind of reminds them, and forgive me, I don't remember the character's name in Avatar, but he looks like the Marine bad guy. I just know him from being on shows. That he was on a show where he played like during it was like, I can't remember, it was like a witch show. I think it was called Salem, and he played like one of the townspeople. He was one of the bad guys on that, and he kind of reminds me of him. Willem says Band of the Hand. And Drew says, now we need a villain boss. Yes. Willem says Siege is badass. Yes, he is. He is. I was really stoked. I cannot wait to see this guy's backstory because, right, the sky's the limit with him. That's what's cool. And the cigar, that's just a nice touch. Stephen Lang. Is that who it is from? Is that who I'm thinking of from Avatar? He does kind of look like him. If that's who you're talking about. Yeah, really cool. Really, really cool. Really cool to see where this guy's storyline goes. And I mean, we know he's going to fit in. There's just no doubt when you look at him, you know he's going to fit in. Almost kind of reminds me also of like an older, I don't mean to compare him to G.I. Joe, but he reminds me of what Duke would look like when he gets older. So, Willem says he was an Avatar in the 80s classic Band of the Hand. Oh, okay. Well, I know he was an Avatar. I'm not familiar with Band of the Hand. I know him also from, what else has he been in? He's been in some other stuff. I know that. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. But he's a good actor. Great actor. All right. Then we got some more info. And when I say info, I mean, we got some info. We got some nice updates on the Vanguard and where they're at in the process. And I, for one, I was surprised. I was hoping we'd get a little bit of Vanguard update, but I thought he was probably going to do more of that at Joe Fest on his panel. I figured he would probably do that there somewhere. But to our surprise, we got a huge update on Vanguard. So he showed us the specific aerial, like top-down photos, where you're going to sit 2 in the front, 2 in the back, 1 in the turret, and 1 in the rear. So this, I can only imagine, right? These are 6-inch figures, 1/12 scale. This car is going to be huge. Now, I'm going to get it. I don't know where I'm going to put it, but I'm going to get it. I won't be able to probably get 2 unless the price point is low enough. But to army build on this thing is going to be outrageous, right? Having 2, 3, 4 of these. I can't imagine any of the guys getting that many, but for myself, I'll definitely at least get 1. So this is really, really cool to see this, see these inside like X-ray photos of what they're going to look like and how they're going to sit in there. And yes, I know I've already seen in the chat room people are like, "Oh, all it is a souped up, Toyota. What is it? J4X or FJ Cruiser. Sorry, FJ Cruiser." And it kind of does look like that. William says, "I like how he talked about doing upgrades or weapon kits for them." Yeah, so when I heard him say that, I'm thinking, okay, so he's going to put out his quality, right? Which we know are going to be really, mold injected plastics that are going to be durable and all that. And then my mind always goes to the secondary market, the collector, the amateur 3D printer or molder, whatever they're doing. And I can only imagine them expanding on it even more. So I think the sky's the limit for this thing in modification, and totally excited to get this. You can make several different build outs. Oh yeah. And just think, this is only one vehicle. This is how he's going to introduce it. So I'm hoping somewhere down the line, he's going to introduce, more vehicles, maybe a truck, maybe a Vanguard with the back off and an open compartment area. I mean, the sky's the limit on where he can go with it. And I just, I know it's baby steps to get there. So, and he'll get there in all due time. But yeah, it's totally cool. And then he showed us the picture on the turrets or the turret, how it's going to look on the back. These are all the different angles here, what you'll be able to do with it. He did say the turret will be able to pop off. There'll be the lid hatch if you want it in a mode where like you don't have the turret. So it's just all those little fine details, in my opinion, is what is, I just like to see that detail going into it. I'm afraid of the price point, but, I don't even know if it's fair enough to speculate, because if he keeps it down, this thing, I'm thinking maybe if I'm wrong, maybe $129, $129.99 to $149.99. I'm hoping somewhere in that ballpark. Drew says, I hope he puts out foot pegs on the sides. And I saw that, Drew, running through the comments. I saw that in several when he was talking about the Vanguard. A lot of guys were chiming in. Are there going to be foot pegs for posing? And we know he didn't say that. So hopefully he comes out here in the near future and gives us kind of a little bit of an update and says that, hey, man, there's going to be, foot pegs molded there for the top to the side. You can pose your guys, hanging out the doors or, do all these different things. I was also kind of hoping maybe we'll get some rails of some sort on the side so you can make it look like your figure's holding on and, maybe, he's getting ready to jump off and he's, whatever, tuck and roll, whatever he's going to do. Drew says, hey, Rat Face. Yeah, Rat Face is here. I think he's still here in the chat. And at Rat Race 44 reviews. Pound it. Wilhelm is telling everybody to go check him out. And yes, and if you haven't checked out his reviews, he puts out good stuff. So I encourage everybody to swing over there and check him out. Like and subscribe and share his videos amongst the toy community. And then we got into the weapons on top, the missiles or rockets, whatever you want to call it. We got to see a sneak peek and preview on the missiles, rockets on top. And I'm assuming they're going to go in the turret section. You'll be able to switch. Ratface 44 says, I'm here. Nice. And he says, thank you. You're very welcome, sir. What's everybody's take on this? What do you all think? I mean, I can go back here a little bit to the turret. If ever, what do you think? You think this is, you like this design? You like this setup? Are you going to run it obviously with the turret? Obviously, if I have the room and the space and I pull them out, I'll probably run it with the turret. If I have the money, I'll buy a second one, long as there's no cap on it, and then run one with the rockets, the missiles on top. That would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. And then they showed us the inside of the cab. We got to see the interior. And Willem says, excellent. Drew says he loves it and absolutely love it. Awesome. I'm glad to hear you guys like it. I'm glad we're all on the same page. I think it's cool. I think it's unique that it's a different vehicle and it's not like a standard tank or Humvee or cargo carrier type, all-purpose personnel vehicle type thing, like an APC. I like that he went a different route with it and didn't follow the typical style. So then we got the picture of the interior. We got the picture of the 4 seats here with the stick shift and the 4-wheel drive, cup holders in the back. I think it was Tony or somebody joked at it saying that Desert Route will be able to have his beer in hand there in the back. I thought that was pretty cool. So you can see how it's going to go in there inside. And he says this is all molded out to what's inside of the Vanguard, the interior. So everything that we get is going to be basically shrunk down into scale for our figures. So I'm hoping, again, with all that detail that goes into it, that it's affordable. And I'm thinking Bobby knows where he needs to be on it. I'm hoping he does. And I think he'll hopefully get this to a good price. I can see paying upwards to about $200 for it. Me personally, I don't know about anybody else, but I think $200 would be my cap on it. Anything after that, I don't know. I don't know if I'd be able to justify picking it up. But what the hell? Who am I to say that? I spent almost $700 on the Masters of the Universe Eternia. So if I get that, hopefully it. I've heard some rumors that they're having issues now with production or something like that. So I'm thinking, oh great, or is that going to get canceled? So But that's a whole nother show. So Ratface44 says, I can't wait to see it physically. Me too, man. Me too. Me too. And I think I already read this. Wilhelm says he absolutely loves it. Yeah, can't wait to see it. Really, really stoked. I think the fans that have been following this from the get-go. Now, granted, I'm not like Drew or some of the other guys out there that have caught this from the Kickstarter day one. I came in late when I found out. I'm like, what? Someone's redoing Action Force, Palatoy, Action Man. What are they do? I mean, what are they doing? Or I'm like, who got the IP? That's what I was. That's what was kind of going through my head. Like I said, I believe it was like September 20, maybe October 20. And I was like, huh, well, I don't know. I'll see what happens with it, and that's what I was thinking. And then as I kind of dug deeper, and then my brother-in-law was very fortunate. He kind of turned me on to it. He showed me one of the early, I think it was, can't remember, was it Delta Trooper or something like that? And I was all accessorized, and I was looking at it and then comparing it, weight comparisons to like a classified, and I was like, or Snake Eyes it probably was, and I was like, holy crap. And I was, comparing the detail. I'm like, dude, this is a really, really good molded figure, when I finally got to see one of his in hand. And I was like, holy crap, this is good. And then by the time I went back and noticed that to try and do it and start, try to back or pre-order, man, it was gone. It was gone. They were gone. So missed out on it, but I'm glad where I came in as a fan and trying to stay loyal to it. And like I said the other day, man, it's driving me more and more and more away from G.I. Joe classifieds, even though I have a special place in my heart, like I said, with G.I. Joe. This is just driving me more and more towards the Action Force line. But I'm trying to get my Joe 6-inch to a certain spot that I need it. And I guess for me, if that makes sense, for my mental state of what I want and what I need. And then I'll probably just cut it there and devote everything in the meantime still to Action Force. So very, very cool. So then we got a picture of the dashboard and the steering wheel. And obviously the cutout or the area next to the console, next to the radio and underneath the steering wheel, I'm assuming that will be gone, or the way that's molded, it looks different from where it'll go underneath and back against like what would be the firewall of the engine compartment, so the feet of the figures can slide underneath the dash. So kind of like a modern setup there. We get the little screen, we get the dials. Kind of reminds me of my I had a Toyota Tacoma. The dash kind of reminds me of that a little bit. Ratface says, Michael from Retro Blasting got me into Action Force when he had Bobby on his channel. I can't remember when. Nice. When did you become a fan of watching Retro Blasting? And when did you, I guess after that you would have seen his video? Because I know for me, I got into seeing Retro Blasting. I was actually, a buddy of mine said, hey man, have you checked out this YouTube channel? It's like a retro channel, man. He talks about like toys and stuff, and his girlfriend or wife that's on there, she's like all into metal and Slayer. And if anybody knows me, I'm into heavy metal and thrash metal and stuff like that. So I'm like, no, I'll give it a shot. So I want to say that was around 16 or 17 when I started watching Retro Blasting. But ironically, I missed that video. I let me put it this way. I wasn't like a die hard YouTube watcher at that point, and I still collected toys, but I didn't really get into collecting until right around 2017 again. I collected from the mid 90s all the way through to the early 2000s, a lot of Star Wars stuff, all the old Power of the Force stuff. Then I kind of put it on pause, and then I got my collecting back up around 17 and bits and pieces here and there. And then I've been hitting it pretty hard for the last 3 years. So, but yeah, I wasn't watching YouTube regularly like I do now and catching people's videos and all that. So I missed Retro Blasting's Action Force video, but I've gone back and since then and I have watched it. So Ratface says Sergeant Slaughter figure got me into it. Oh, very cool. Very cool. And he follows up with it's got to be around 6 to 7 years ago I got into retro blasting. Yeah, I guess that would be kind of right. Let's see, 16. Yeah, about that. 6, 7 years ago, somewhere in there. And Willem says, I got into it at Joe Fest 2021 when I met Bobby at his booth and attended a cool party through a local bar. Met some cool people, read the comics, and saw the prototypes he had on display. That must have been awesome, man, to experience that last year. Or in 21. Must have been really, really cool. Really, really cool. So we got to see the inside there, the dash. And then we got to see the doors. And he stated that they'll be able to pop off. You'll be able to open them up. You can run it. You can run the Vanguard with them or without them. So gave us a little sneak peek on how the doors will operate. And so I thought that was pretty cool. Like I said, those were, in my opinion, those were a lot of releases. And, you know, giving us an update on it that I thought he would have left for either Joe Fest or sometime later in the year. So, and William says, I found retro blasting when he did a Cobra Rattler restoration. Nice. I'm trying to think what my first retro blasting video was. The very, very first one I saw. I want to say I opened up one of his Star Wars Follies videos, and it was one of those that I watched. And then I just sat down one night and I just started binge watching everything. And I was like, damn, man, this guy's content is awesome, man. He's killing it. He is killing it. So, oh, and then we got a celebrity in the house from the 3POA show, Laser Pants, known as Ryan. Thanks, Ryan, for stopping in. And his question for everybody is, what's a Valafair a toy? A toy? Well, Ryan, you've come to a good spot to follow up on that. Yes. So, how are you today, my friend? Glad that you stopped by and you're checking this out. So, moving on. Then we got to see the undercarriage of the Vanguard and the detail going into it. He told us we're getting rubber tires. So that's going to be awesome. We're not getting like a solid plastic or like a half plastic or a 3/4 plastic, and then it's going to be hollow on the inside. He said we're getting solid rubber, which means we're going to be getting some form of a solid rim. And then the undercarriage. So we got all that detail under there. We can see the kind of the undercarriage side of the manifold going up to the engine, going back through the exhaust. So that's pretty cool. Going back to the drive shaft, to the rear differential there. So that's really, really cool. And Ryan says, I need to learn more about this. Yes, you do, sir. I don't think you know enough. Actually, educate us on what you know. I know you can't tease on the IP, but you know the fans, and we are waiting. We are waiting. Patiently waiting. So hopefully he releases that soon. Lersman says, hey, Rat Face. Drew said you'd had it. And Drew says it's not a Hasbro. Rat Face says, highly recommended Valafair. That's right, Valafair. So what's your thoughts on this? What do you think? What do you think, Ryan? What was after seeing the slides on the Vanguard. What was your take on it? What did you think? Let me know. And then we got into the Crimson Shadow Technologies video, right? We got into it. We got to see what was going to be revealed. Hold on, let me go back here. I think I'm missing some comments. Drew says it's a nice bottom. I like bottoms myself. So we got into Crimson Shadow Technologies. He told us basically their affiliate, what they do for the Colonia, New Colonia, and how they'll partake in it. And bam, there it is. There it is. What do y'all think? I was quite taken back for a second that we were going to kind of go the sci-fi route. But I was like, holy crap, this is pretty friggin' cool. And I just kind of started thinking, Terminator for a second, right? And I don't want to compare it to that, but that's where my mind went. Machines, this is just cool. This was cool. I think everybody was surprised that he went this sci-fi route and we're getting this figure. Vanguard is still a long way off. I don't want to think about it yet. Yeah, it is. I know. But it's nice. It's nice being teased with it and seeing it. So hopefully the price point when it is revealed, it's affordable, or it can be done. I know he had mentioned that it possibly couldn't be done, but yeah, this is pretty awesome here. And then here's a layout of what he's going to look like. We get that saber type sword that's attached to the right arm. The holster area for his weapons, I believe, is what that is. And then immediately my mind just started going all the different, I'm hoping, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm hoping there'll be a ton of different kits for this. The kit bashing that'll be able to take place. It's just the sky's the limit, right? Sky's the limit. So this is awesome. This was a big surprise. Wilhelm says, I have a lot of questions about these guys and how they fit into the lore. Oh, okay. Can you specify on that? Can you kind of tell me where your thought process is going? Sorry, guys. My lovely bride just walked into the room. Are they the puppet master of the whole thing? Do they control the swarm? I didn't get that kind of. I didn't really get that kind of impression that they'd be kind of going that route. If I had to put it into comparisons, how, and maybe I'm wrong when I say it this way. Maybe I'm wrong. Because it's been a while since I've watched some of the G.I. Joe cartoons. And again, I'm not comparing here, but I'm only going to compare the likeness in how the figures basically were intertwined with Cobra. Wasn't Destro or was it Serpentor that basically wanted to overthrow Cobra, like he was just a derivative of Cobra or an offshoot of Cobra that wanted more power? That's where I'm kind of leaning with this. That's where I'm thinking these are. This is the multi-million dollar, high-tech arms company that has survived through this downfall of the United States and the world. And they're putting their technology and their arms into the world. And that's kind of where I'm hoping it's maybe going in a sense. So there's like a triad. There'll be that there'll be the good guys, the bad guys, and then kind of another bad guy. And you know what I mean? They'll be kind of fighting amongst themselves, ruthless in a sense. Deals, business deals, only benefiting their financial gain or their financial control. Druji says, I got to run, Neal. Have to hop on a business call. I'll catch the replay on the rest. Later, guys. Later, Jew. Thanks for stopping by, man. I appreciate it. William says, or are they a separate faction? And that's what I'm saying is they could be a separate faction, possibly. They could be. I don't know. I think either way, with the new Colonia being introduced and what's going on in the world, in the Action Force world now, I don't see why this type of technology couldn't intertwine, right? Couldn't be of any existence. Because if we put it into perspective now, what's going on in the real world, we're really not too far off from this technology, are we? We're not that far off. And the reality of something like this being a reality in the Action Force line, I think it's believable. So definitely support it, and I think it's pretty cool. Ratface says, who would win in a battle, the Bat or the Vanguard? Looking at this, and I'm not being biased when I say this, I think this would. Oh, the Bat or the Vanguard. I'm sorry. I thought you were comparing the two. I read that wrong. Who would win in a battle, the Bat or the Vanguard? I think the Vanguard can outmaneuver it, but I don't think it could take the damage that the Bat can cause it. But I think the Vanguard could maneuver quick enough to get away, possibly get to a higher level of ground, fire some of those missiles, or turn that, whatever that is, if it's a 50 cal on top or whatever millimeter type gun that is on top, 30 millimeter gun or something, turn it around and, just shoot the hell out of the Bat. So have a great night. William says, have a great night, Drew. And Destro and Mars Industries were weapons dealers affiliated with Cobra, but had their own interests. Right. So that's kind of maybe how I compare it. Maybe kind of put it in comparisons. Maybe somewhere along that. That's how they'll kind of he'll kind of intermingle the two. Something maybe similar to that. And William says, I think one Patrons could equal several swarm troopers in combat powers. These things are killing machines. Yeah, for sure. So I think the swarm, like when I look at the swarm, because they don't have high weaponry to begin with to start, right? He doesn't have big arms to start. I see the swarm as a modern field, like infantry trooper type guy, but obviously being used for the enemy. It's the enemy's trooper, obviously, and they have their guns, but they have their wings and they have these shields. So I don't see them as maybe as powerful as, So I guess that would be my take on it as well. And then Willem goes on to say, Action Force will have their hands full with dealing with these things. Oh yeah, because, and I don't know, do we see them more as like a Terminator they send them out here and there to do a killing mission, or do we see them in a drove of army? They're just Action Force gets wind they're going to be taking over something, and there's hundreds of these guys, and just the Action Force team, a few of them, whoever it is that's going out on the mission, and they try to take them out. What's their damage susceptibility? You know what I mean? Like, how much damage is it going to take for them to, get hit so they blow up, or they basically malfunction? Going back to it, we see that they're going to have like these, I don't know, what do you want to call them? Some kind of shield, you know what I mean? Some kind of shield that they'll be able to deflect rounds. Now, looking at those rounds, those just look like maybe low caliber rounds. So you shoot them with the missile from, the Vanguard. Will it blow them up? Will it break through that and, blow that guy up? I don't know. Well, it'll be interesting to see what their weakness level is. Oh, okay. So, yeah. So, in comparisons, yes, I can see the Praetorian. Sorry, I can see him being more aggressive in the sense on a bat. Like, to me, the way the bat was designed, he was just really, really, and I get it because technology and at the time and the writing for it, I just saw him very, simple, typical robot, give him a command, voice command, and boom, he goes. And he goes out and he does his thing. And he's only, the way he was portrayed, the bat was portrayed from my perspective as a kid in cartoons, he was a very simple, easily defeatable robot, right? Whereas this, I think this guy's dangerous, especially with that sword. And then let alone his firearms, right? And if we get accessories for him, what kind of type of missiles or rockets or lasers or things that this thing's going to have. So I think this thing would beat a bat any day of the week. He just looks more deadly. And Willem says, bats were portrayed as slow, kind-minded drones in the cartoon. The GIJOEs would beat them with their own limbs. I always considered them more dangerous in your playtime. Yeah. I saw them as more like comical, if that makes sense. I saw them as more comical. I get for the time and the period with Transformers and robots and GIJOEs and that technology in the 80s. That was an easy one for them to, sit down at the drawing table and write him into it. So we have a lot of robotic type movies of the 80s and things, right? We had Short Circuit, we had Transformers, we have GoBots, we have Voltron, we have, so I get where they went with it. That was something that it was a win-win for the Hasbro team, or a Kenner team back then, but then the writers of the show to introduce a character like that. I think we've advanced, obviously, clearly in technology. So I would think the bat would see this and basically pop a hydraulic line and, basically piss himself, or self-destruct. And the cartoon made bats cannon fodder. What do you mean by that? William made the cannon fodder. Am I missing something, or am I just drawing a brain fart here? And then we get into the weapons accessories, some of the weapons that we got to see. We saw these new futuristic rifle designs, two-tone red, kind of like Pandora in her weapon pack upgrade. We're going with that red. Again, I wasn't too fond of the red reveals for it. but it wasn't a deal breaker for me. Will I get them? Yes. Will I get it for him as well? Yep, I probably will. Definitely. I'm hoping this guy's price point is pretty decent, pretty fair. It's 2024, and I know he said he's not planning to raise them. So to get a figure like this, and then hopefully he'll reveal a weapons pack later down the road for $34.99. Excuse me, for $34.99 or whatever, but at $31.99. And then a weapons pack for basically $13. This is a no-brainer. All day, every day. All day, every day. Going to be able to build an army of these. So, disposable things for our heroes to beat up on. Yes, for sure. So, guys, I apologize. I actually have 4 more slides here, and let me see if I can fix it real quick. I apologize because I don't know why it didn't save, and it should have saved because let me see if it saved on my master, and it did. But for some reason, it didn't here. So let me see if I can do this. Let me remove that real quick. I'm going to remove that. I'm going to remove that. And I don't know why this did this. Let me see here. So I'm going to bring this back up. Bear with me. Hopefully I can get to it. For some reason, it's not allowing me to drop in these other slides. It's taken them out, and I don't know why it's done that. And I know they're in there because I just looked at it in my slides. But the other ones that I wanted to bring up were, we also got, after the video, we got the transmission video that talked about a new figure possibly coming. We don't know who it is. We see some sunglasses. He's like in a Hawaiian shirt. And then in the next image, we saw the action points. So I apologize for not having that. I don't know why that slide is showing that it's saved in there, but when I import it into the studio here, it's not giving it to me. And I clearly can see it in the edit form here that it's there, which is weird. I don't know why it's not doing that. Let me see if I can do it again. Remove from studio and pop it back up here. Let me do that. Do this. Go to present, slides. See if I can pull it up here real quick. I think that's probably what happened. Now let's see if this got fixed. Give me a second. Willem says, I love the black and the red. Those energy shields are dope. Yes, they are. And you followed up with, they're going to need some big guns to take these down. Yes. And that's why I'm curious as to, no, the file's not too big. I think what happened was I had an old copy in my in my studio, and what I had to do is delete it and then re-bring it back in. So I'm going to pull it up here in a second. A few ones in the file. Yep. And I should be able to get it now, and it should work now. So let me kind of, yep. So there it is. So I originally had that for the 2024 bodies that we got. And there it is. The mission brief, Miami, Florida, and then the coordinates, 25.7617 north at 80.1918 west. I haven't checked those coordinates to see if those are real coordinates and where they go. So has anybody done that yet? But after that transmission we got this image right here of the sunglasses and kind of like this Hawaiian shirt with this blue shirt. So who is this? Is this Desert Rat? I highly doubt it. Is this, who is this? Who is this? Very, very interesting to see who this could be. Maybe it's, is it Duster? Is it, I don't know. What's your thoughts? And then we got the action points, the little sneak peek of the picture there to show us about the action points. So I was pretty stoked with that. So we know we're finally going to be able to use our action points. So hopefully no one has thrown away their points, because he's told us from the beginning, save your points, save your points. You're going to be able to send them in. Now, I'm an inbox collector primarily on a lot of stuff, and I've never been fond of being an inbox collector, cutting out the proof of purchase or Chuckles. No shit, right? It probably is Chuckles from GI Joe. I really don't have any idea, but I can't wait to see who it is. No, I'm wondering if he's going to be kind of like the Informer. You know, he's going to be kind of like that spy ops guy in regular dress clothes, you know, like a CIA operative or something like that, or would be equivalent to like a CIA operative. But again, like I said, I've never really been a big box collector of cutting out my proof of purchases or things like that. But I am highly, highly intrigued to do it, and probably going to have to do it. So, yeah. So, yep. Then there's the Vanguard again. And then, yeah. So let me know, man. Like, what's everybody's take? What's everybody doing? Is this a for sure deal? You're getting him without a doubt. No holding back. You're buying them. You're buying multiples. Or is it a pass? Or are you not happy that Bobby went this route? Bobby went this storyline route. I'm kind of digging that he's going the sci-fi route. I think it gives a modern world perspective into, again, like I said, the reality is this stuff's not too far off. So I don't know. Any thoughts? Yeah, I'm all in on everything revealed. Cool. Definitely like on the ghillie suit and stuff like that. I was really stoked with that. Here, let's do this. My highlights of all 3 days. I loved seeing the screaming head reveals. I don't know if I'm fond of all of them, but I definitely can, see the ones that I would want, like Trigger and getting him on that minigun, obviously. Definitely, the Eclipse figure and head variant. Let's see what else. A lot of cool stuff. The weapons packs. I'm glad to see that 50 cal BMG in there. That's going to be awesome. Obviously the ghillie suit, the IP address that he signed. I'm totally stoked for that, to see what he's going to reveal and what he bought. So, I'll be online real early for the day one of Joe Fest, Valacon. Last year was insane, and I got there pretty early. Nice. Well, again, hopefully I get to see you there. I'm going to try. Like I said, I've got a lot of stuff going on. Supposed to be going on a trip at that time, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm going to try and go. And then Willem says, I still waited in line for half an hour, so that's not too bad. So hopefully I'll get to see you there. Hopefully I get to see everybody there. Hopefully I get to go. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get there, and it's not a financial thing for me that I can't get there. It's a time thing. So I don't want anybody to think it's that. It's just it's finding the right time, and if it's going to be the right time for me to do it this year. I wanted to go last year, and I said, I'm doing it next year. Then my wife said, hey, I planned the family vacation. We're going out during June, like June 9th through the 14th. And I was like, but wait, I was going to go to Joe Fest, remember? And she's like, oh, crap. Everybody, our family and our friends that we were going to go on vacation with, they were on board with it. I was like, okay, I'll have to miss it again. And then obviously stuff has come up. And, unfortunately now we're in a position where probably won't be able to make a really good decision for the next few weeks. Hell yeah, man. It's a ton of fun. I bet it is, dude. I heard the Action Force fans just overtook the whole venue. So that's pretty cool. It's a 9-hour drive for me, but well worth it. For me, it's a good, let's see. It's at least a good 2.5 hour drive, maybe, or correction, flight, 3-hour flight to Atlanta, and a drive I'm looking at probably a good, 12 hours, 13-hour drive. So I would have to fly and then, get a rental car and drive down. But I asked my brother-in-law to see if I do get to go, would he be interested in going? So he's looking into it as well. You won't regret it. No, I know I won't regret it. Again, I'm going to try and do that. So try and get there. Well, without further ado, I mean, we can close this live stream out. I appreciate everybody that turned in today, and we got to recap on it. I know there was several other guys that recapped in shorter videos, but I kind of wanted to do a sit down, like a one-on-one personal with everybody, see what everybody else thought. Again, what did everybody think? Was everybody excited for the reveal of day 3? Was everybody stoked just as much on day 3 as day 1 and day 2? Because I know I sure was. And hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Good times. Thanks, man. Great show. I appreciate it. I'm small, but I don't mind, getting out there and, talking toys. I'm not afraid of it, not embarrassed by it because I'm a smaller channel. I love what I do. This is fun. This is a great way for me to, relax and just have fun, man. Love collecting toys. Love talking toys. So, especially with like-minded people. So I appreciate everybody turning in tonight, checking us out. You too, Rat Race. Have a good night. We'll see you guys later on. And Valaverse did not disappoint. I'm looking forward to it, man. Fingers crossed. Hopefully the cards and the universes, the planets align correctly, and I'll be able to go. And looking forward to seeing everybody there. So I appreciate it, everybody, again, for tuning in tonight. If you haven't already checked out my channel, go up there now. Check it out. Yesterland Toys. We're called the Toys That Made Sense. We like to talk retro. We like to talk all things 80s, 60s, 70s toys, a little bit of 90s. Obviously, we talk modern toys. And you can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on Facebook. I try to post and comment on things daily and just kind of stay up to date with all the info. I know you have a lot of other channels to choose from. I appreciate you always stopping by and checking out my channel and showing me the love. and support. You can also find me on TikTok. I send out videos and picture stills here and there of things that I'm doing. So you can follow me over there. I'm pretty simple. I'm pretty much Yesterland Toys across the board. Other than on Instagram, I'm Yesterland Toys or Yesterland underscroll toys. And then and I try to post videos weekly. I really don't do a lot of live streams, but I try to do them when I can. And I'm looking forward to the releases. My wallet is not, and that's the 13 prints. So yeah, I totally feel you, man. Again, check me out, Yesterland Toys, the toys that made sense. If you want to catch any of day 2, day 3, it's in the comments section. You can, day 1 and day 2, you can go check out his live stream with Michael, with Articulated Ninja, with Tony and Ryan again on day 3. And you can also go check out day 1 and day 2 review with Drew G, where I was on that channel with him and M Vargo 97, and we talked toys. We talked day 1 and day 2 for 3 hours. I didn't think we would go that long, but we went 3 hours, and it was awesome. So, guys, again, I appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. It's been a blast. I'm glad we got to go over day 3. I still see comments coming in, so I'll try to get to them here real quick. Let's see here. I am looking forward, Neal, from ADQ. Well, thanks for stopping in, ADQ. I'm getting ready to end this live stream, but make sure anybody that's popping in right now to catch the replay, it'll be posted as soon as I end the broadcast here. And again, appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. And as always, I'll see you in Yesterland. Have a good night.